Coming into the 2022 football season, no team in college football looked more improved than the USC Trojans. It all started with the shocking addition of former Oklahoma Sooners head coach Lincoln Riley. And from there, the floodgates absolutely opened up. Coach Riley brought over his star quarterback Caleb Williams, as well as talented wide receiver Mario Williams. And no other team benefited from the relaxed transfer portal rules more than USC did, bringing in guys like former Colorado receiver Brendan Rice, former Oregon running back Travis Dye, and of course, bringing in the reigning Biletnikoff Award winner from Pitt, Jordan Addison. And with all these new additions, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it looked to be a new day in USC. However, USC still has the same Achilles heel that they've had for the past 5 years. What's poppin', everybody? Hope you're having a super blessed day. And guys, I gotta break it down. As a USC fan, there is a glaring weakness in USC's game that if we do not get it fixed here fast, USC will not only not be able to consistently compete in the Pac-12, but once we move to the Big Ten next year, it's gonna be a wrap. But before we get into that, be sure to leave this video a like and also hit that subscribe button and comment down below what are your guys' takes on the statements that I'm about to make. Coming into the 2022 football season, I think everybody had USC in very high hopes as far as what they could do with their new look offense and having Coach Riley at the head of USC football. I mean, right now we're the number 7 team. We started off the season around team 23, 24, just depending on who you were looking at. So USC's definitely been trajecting in the right direction. And with how weak of a schedule that we have, I mean, the only real test that we have is Utah. Notre Dame was looking to be a tough test, but seeing how poorly they've started, it doesn't look like that's going to be a tough game. And besides that, UCLA, but that's just because that's a rivalry game. Other than that, USC pretty much has a cakewalk to the Pac-12 championship game, and with a little help from some of the guys at the top of the college football world, if they start losing, USC could potentially find their way into the college football playoffs this year. But none of that matters because all the great additions and strides that we're making on the offensive side of the ball. USC currently has the #1 offense in the Pac-12 and has one of the best offenses in all of college football. However, we also have the second worst defense in the Pac-12. The only team that has a worse defense than us are the 0-3 Colorado Buffaloes. This is one of my biggest fears with Coach Riley taking the lead as the head coach of USC because, in all honesty, USC never has had an offensive problem. We have always had a really good offense. We do a great job of recruiting offensive talent. We do a good job of developing that offensive talent. We always stay with a decent to great quarterback. We stay with phenomenal wide receivers, and we always got a guy in the backfield who he can suffice. USC hasn't really had a top tier running back since Reggie Bush and maybe Lendell White, that era, but since then we've had some solid running backs. But overall, USC's offense has always been top tier, at least in the Pac-12. But we have also had one of the worst defenses in the Pac-12 the entire time. USC currently has the second worst defense in the Pac-12 after facing Rice, Stanford, and Fresno State. Do any of those schools scream powerhouse offense to you? And the worst part is I thought after Lincoln Riley took over Clay Helton, I thought that we were finally going to get some discipline on the defensive side of the ball, but the same issues that USC has had for the past 5 years, they still have on the defensive side of the ball. Missed tackles, missed assignments, and letting up some of the biggest chunk plays in all of college football. It doesn't matter who USC plays. It will be a 3rd and 10, it will be a 3rd and 5. It will be a position where USC's defense can finally get off the field, and instead of just giving up the first down, they give up these massive 20, 30, 40, even touchdown scoring plays simply because guys are out of position, guys are not making the initial tackle, they're missing the first tackle. It's a lot of sloppy mistakes on the defensive side of the ball. And I know that there's that saying that the way to have a better defense is to have an even greater offense. However, I think just seeing what USC has done with the first 3 opponents of the season, none of those guys are world beaters. And with us going into this Oregon State game, which I do believe is potentially a trap game, Oregon State has been playing well above average for the Beavers. And honestly, if USC doesn't come and play and they don't play some serious defense, Oregon State might be able to keep up with USC's offense. And trust me, I'm not speaking that over USC. I think that USC will quite easily beat Oregon State. However, if USC wants to do anything in potentially the college football playoffs, if they want to do anything, if they slightly miss the playoffs and doing something in a high tier bowl game, and if they want to do literally anything in the Big Ten, they have to get better on defense, especially the run defense. USC has given up on average 177 yards per game on the ground. That is simply not going to get it done. Especially when you're going up against teams like Rice, Fresno State, and Stanford, who none of them have really dominant running games, especially when USC is always going to have the better athlete on the other side of the ball. The fact that we cannot stop the run, that should be the easiest thing for teams who have better talent, better recruits to do. They should be able to stop the run. I get it if teams are able to pass on you because that's more scheme based. Running is simply just outmanning people. And the fact that USC is giving up almost 200 yards per game, and they gave up over 200 yards on rushing against Rice. Like, come on. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my USC Trojans. I love seeing what we're doing on the offensive side of the ball. I'm a former receiver, so offense is what intrigues me the most. I love seeing the guys out there. Caleb Williams is dotting up everybody's getting the ball. Jordan Addison is looking like a phenomenal addition, as we all should have all known. Travis Dye is a solid running back in the backfield. We got a lot of great things going on the offensive side of the ball. I have absolutely no questions, issues, or concerns with the offensive side of the ball when it comes to USC football. But that defense is so bad that it literally, it scares me. Because the first time that we play a decent team, if we do not get our defense in check, or the first time that we play a team with a solid or more competent offense, USC could be in for a rough day. And especially with USC moving to the Big Ten. It would be different if they're moving to the Big 12, where none of the teams play defense. But the fact that they're going to the Big 10, where defense is a strong suit of the conference, and the running game is a strong suit of the conference as well. Like, USC needs to heavily invest. We already got our quarterback for the next 2 years in Caleb Williams. We already got the guy who's going to succeed him in Malachi Nelson. We already have enough offensive pieces, and Lincoln Riley, with him being the offensive guy that he is, he should be able to suffice if we cannot get all the recruits or all the scholarships to offensive players. We need to quadruple down on the defensive line and linebacker position. If I'm USC's recruiting coordinator, I'm only looking, I will outbid Alabama. I will outbid Georgia. We need some of those big bodies on the defensive line, and we need some of those speedy, flat out can make tackle linebackers, because I'm telling y'all, USC's defense, it gets so sketchy during games, and it always scares me. But with that being said, I want to hear from y'all, all my USC fans and all my fans that are just kind of paying attention to USC football. Are you guys seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? USC needs to fix their run defense. Our pass defense, I feel like it's okay, but because we have such poor run defense, we're constantly in defensive schemes that just allow the teams to pick us apart on the back end, because we're constantly putting so many players in the box to try and stop the run, and then you just throw it over the top. USC always seems to be a step behind on the defensive side of the ball. So I want to hear from y'all. Again, comment down below, what are you guys' thoughts on USC football? I'm excited that we're finally back in the top 10 and people are even talking about us, and I can make videos on my favorite team, and people actually care about it. But hey, we got to be realistic out here. I love my team, but we also got to call them out where they can improve, because I want to see USC back at the real top of the college football world. I want to see them in the mix with the Alabama, Georgia, Ohio States. I want to see them up in that echelon of college football. We're close. If Caleb Williams is able to keep on doing what he's doing and we fix up that defensive side of the ball, I really do see USC being able to be put in that tier, at least for this year. We'll see moving forward, but at least for this year, if we can get our defense together, I can see us being in that tier of college football. But I want to hear from y'all. Comment that down below. Be sure to leave this video a like and also hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, I love and appreciate all y'all. I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.